general, if we can see anyone edge out a little bit of an advantage there, because overall I would say that this is so heavily Storm favored.
Where are we going with this movement from Geek Fam? 3 heroes chilling down bottom. I guess they did have that die award from SMG, so maybe trying to set up a bit of a trap here from Radiant, but Fu's not going to fall into that one. This man's got a bit too much experience in his hands.
Yeah, this looks like they're just, you know, kind of playing around the bottom bounty runes here. Probably going to give up the top bounty runes for Geek Fam. Over on SMG though, going to scout a little bit with the Naga illusions, you know, see what's up.
I still can't get past how this lineup looks on SMG. Like, it just sees... I see these heroes, you Evoker 5, Naga 3. Are there any concerns? Like, maybe it could be a little bit too much of a greedy lineup that Geek Fam in some ways could be able to penalize?
Sorry, I'm getting some audio issues hearing double here. Can you repeat that?
Do we feel like, because I look at SMG's lineup and I feel like, you know, I just see the potential, like, greedy heroes, an Invoker support, you've got a Naga offlane. Do we feel like there may be ways for Geek Fam to be able to kind of punish the greediness that potentially SMG have drafted with? Yeah,
I think a lot of it will come down to the Primal Beast and his rotations, because he needs to open up a bit the map and, you know, be the one to set the tempo. The real pressure is going to come when Sven has enough items and has his ulti available to start taking towers, but the greed that SMG are running, I feel like it's not that easy to deal with unless you do good tower damage, and the only one who does that is the Sven.
All right. See, so far, at least the games that I've been able to see from the Sven, this guy's been really solid inside a lot of the lanes as well. And you're paired with an Ancient Apparition. You've already got that way to be able to set up for the cold feet. So wonder what the leveling is going to be as a whole for Skem down bottom. I really also wonder like how Januel is going to look to try and play as this Invoker support, because I mean, I feel like Clockwork a vast majority of the time against these like really position-based range supports always has a field day.
Yeah, he should have a pretty good time right now. He's going for a little bit of a pull here. The Invoker, though, I think can be a hard hero for Clockwork to lock onto due to the fact that he has Tornado to disengage. If you try to run up, get the Battery Assault, and trap the Invoker, you can always just Tornado, back up, Cold Snap, and be fine. Same with Faceless Void, right? You can't just walk up in Battery and cog him. He can get out of that very easily.
Ah, yes, I did indeed forget how much Force likes to spam the voice lines. Welcome back. Yes, it's good to see you. You've not changed.
Yeah, this is, I mean, you gotta get the Gaben voice lines nowadays. They're the best ones in the game.
Yeah. What's he doing? He's still running the old voice lines. Maybe he hasn't won enough games since they've come out. Maybe he's on a big loss streak or something.
Oh, it's the bane of being on a pro team. You know, you don't have enough times to grind out the pubs because you're scrimming all day. So getting those, what is it, 13 victories you need or something? It's quite a few.
Yeah, quite a few. I mean, surely you'd expect to get a couple though. But yeah, like you're saying, you're playing too many scrims all of a sudden. Can't play those pub games and. Well, we'll see. Nothing too crazy going on at the moment. It seems like all the lanes off to a pretty good start. I mean, really, the one I keep paying attention to is like how is Cox going to be able to play versus no one? Of course, going up against that ever so experienced mid laner, and Cox is really someone who's been a bit of a young gun for a long time here. So we'll see how he's going to be able to match into no one. But both are having a pretty decent time.
Yeah, so far it's playing absolutely phenomenal because this matchup is very tricky. If you go up to CS, you can always just get static remnanted. And so far, CS is like very even, 18-4 and 17-3. Like I said, this is a pretty Storm-favored matchup, so playing it very well so far.
See you later, nerds.
Looks like it's going to be the classic Falcon Blade build as well from no one, so you know, potentially into that Kaio. Maybe even we'll see if it's the decision, the Witchblade as well, what route he really wants to go down to.
Yeah, and so far looking a little bit towards the bottom lane, this Sven is starting to get some nice farm, and skilling up 2 points in the Stormhammer here kind of tells us a story about what he wants to do. He wants to really be able to fight for his lane a little bit. Normally we see more point in Great Cleave or even point in Warcry. This is more aggressive.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
How many fingers am I holding up?
See you later, nerds.
Do we feel like also with this top lane in particular here for Geek Fam, like with the double melee, are you in Narman in particular, is he looking to maybe put some emphasis on creating some stacks for the Sven, or do we feel like that's not really his role in this lane?
I think it's tough for them because it would take so much time to go back and try and create stacks. I think you have to, you know, try and put whatever pressure you can, even though it's tough for Clockwork against these heroes like I mentioned. You just got to utilize the Iron Shell, maybe start cutting creep waves and farm jungle camps here as well behind the Faceless Void. But even if you do that, Faceless Void is getting free farm right now pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, let's see if he wants to go down the Midas route. Looks like Treads is actually being completed here for mid-one's Void, so we have, of course, seen Midas be very popular. Mask of Madness is a potential if you want to just rush that Maelstrom as well. We'll see what the decision's going to be out of mid-one's Faceless Void.
Yeah, it's going to be probably just, you know, speeding up towards the Midas and just farming up the Maelstrom. It's pretty cookie cutter how people play Void nowadays. I feel like there's not too much creativity. And similarly, I think the Sven is just going to go for the Mask of Madness Echo Saber build as well, which is what everyone is pretty much doing. And then into the BKB and, you know, go from there with the Blink.
I think one of the more the things I've been impressed by with this Sven is just how active you're able to be on this hero, especially if you have a good lane. And that's very different to a Faceless Void. Like mid-one, the only way you get active is with Chrono. And if you're not perfect in the early game, if you don't even get a kill or you only get one, we're going to be able to see the Sven getting involved to help take towers, which really could further his net worth lead. Mid lane, Cox gonna put a lot of damage into no one, and that's in fact enough to be able to pick up our first blood. So it's gonna be Geek Fam that strike first in game one.
Yeah, gonna be a nice start there for them, and Cox off to, you know, a good start here. I said that he was gonna be the important one to keep an eye on as well. We see him already trying to make a move here towards bottom as well, just threatening this this Naga. Going behind.
Easy kill. Really nice rotation out of Cox. He's going to get him online now. And we'll see how active he wants to continue playing. I mean, no one even TP's bottom. No one. That's a lot of mana getting used. They should be able to get the kill onto Own.
Oh, do they have enough?
He's got the stick charges. Wait, no one.
He committed everything.
This is not how your debut start's supposed to go.
Oh boy.
What is going on? Crazy move, man.
And the tips coming out as well. Welcome to Southeast Asia here, no one. Not the greatest gank there for him. Committing so much, trying to get the kill over on the Sven. But yeah, that was just very, very ambitious from him. The Mirana was the only one there, and she only has 1 point Starstorm, doesn't really have any damage to contribute. And we see a kill top as well.
What? This is crazy stuff. All right, so you got the Wisdom Room as well from Narman. Well, they were able to get the kill. I mean, at least Arfu got their own Wisdom Room, but dude, Cox is going to be able to play so aggressive this game. Force has had a really good lane as well, who's going to heavily enable him with higher points in Iron Shell, with higher points in Surge. And if SMG's lanes didn't go well, how are you ever going to be able to stop a Primal Beast from roaming from your top to bottom?
This is where it can get a little bit dangerous, like you mentioned before as well, with the fact that they do have kind of a greedy lineup here, or kind of. With the offlane Naga, I would say very greedy lineup. And if you start falling behind a little bit to these early ganks, the Primal Beast gets, you know, early face boots, gets maybe a Blink Dagger or something to gank. The BKB timing will be great as well. Then we get into worrisome territory. And I don't really see right now SMG making their own moves really to try and set up ganks.
Fu's going to run straight to Cox. Pretty good positioning out of the Mirana.
Leap away. It's nice to have a hero that has some repositioning there. Not going to be able to get caught out by the Primal Beast as easily, so at least she doesn't go down. But yeah, this map is just feeling already a little bit scary by SMG. They're sitting back with multiple heroes in jungle and just, you know, not on the front foot in this game.
Yeah, it seems like now you're putting a lot of pressure onto Masros to be splitting the map like in 5 minutes, but maybe longer. So you're gonna have to do it before the hard, which is when we see really the true Naga strengths of the illusions, which is something like Clock and AA all don't deal with the Naga as she's under a little bit of pressure bottom lane. Remnants of the God strength, they're not going to be able to continue to chase it down. But yeah, like you're saying, and I completely agree, how did SMG be a playmaking this game with no one having a bit of a rougher start? It feels like you just have to rely on the Naga to make a lot of space.
Yeah, pretty much she has to make space, but they did get the Fairy Trinket on Storm, which is a very, very nice first neutral item that does make a bit of difference for him. If he can get his hands on a good rune, then maybe he can look towards making a successful rotation. But right now, this Chrono, not being used in any way by Faces Void, you basically want to put this on cooldown as soon as possible. So the gank comes toward top.
This would be a perfect time to kill him, I think, with the Midas getting delivered on the courier. It does have some boys starting to rotate over, though. No one in Genua with a backstab. No one's going to start in with a long zip. They should have to fall up as well. Mid one, does he want to pop the Chrono? He's going to be cautious.
The A ulti ticks down.
Oh my lord. He just was not expecting the amount of damage that was able to come in. And our Cox, he's also had plenty of time to be able to react to this own movement, so should be able to get a secondary kill onto Genuel as Geek Fam 6-0 to start our game.
Oh, they just did not respect the fact that AA was already level 6 there. Before 10-minute mark, he was ready, and beautiful ulti combination there. Of course, Time Walk can't heal you up if you get hit by that AA ulti, so he just went down so fast on Faces Void, everything backfired from there. I mean, this is looking so good for Geek Fam. I didn't expect them to dominate. Look at top.
It feels like a bit of a frustrated Chrono. They might get the kill. Mid one more right click. All right. At least that's something going their way. You do have AA starting to move on over as well, but the Ice Blast still currently on cooldown from...
Dire's top tower has fallen.
See you later, nerds.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Parody the qualifiers. This is just force. I don't know.
Maybe it's one of those guys just binds the voice lines to other stuff, so whenever he does something, it's this voice line popping.
Surely there's not people like that. It's not.
Oh, Mirana in trouble here. Gets away. That's 2 leaps though. I mean, the leap cooldowns are pretty damn long.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Do we still see though, like net worth lead, it's not going too far in the favor of Geek Fan. Like, yes, on its top of the net worth and having a great time on this Sven, but Masros is kind of keeping up. Yasha completed on the Naga side. No one once again is going to try and make another attempt.
A ulti on cooldown.
I think they're going to be lacking the damage for no one without that blast on Skem, so he's going to be able to get out of danger. Importantly, gets a kill as well, so that's going to build him back up in the net worth.
That's nice. They get a takedown. It's just clockwork, so maybe not the biggest kill, but they combo now onto the Primal Beast.
They're going to have the damage, so it looks like they will. Masros, even Genuel comes into sniper, but really nicely done with these 2 heroes. And this is something that we might see more often as well. Again, with the Naga game being played in the off lane, maybe we can always have Arfu kind of hand in hand and potentially being able to find these pickoffs onto some of the heroes that won't be able to survive through the damage between the 2.
That is something I would like to say. The Mirana makes a lot of sense in their lineup because every single core can set up for the arrow really well. Either the Chrono, which sure, it's a big commitment, but you can still Chrono into arrow, which is a great pickoff potential. The Ensnare is very cheap to just use like that. And even on the mid, the Storm Spirit can always zip in and set up for the Mirana. So good little bit of gank potential they have there on their team, but what I'm concerned about is the big rotations, right? When you see multiple heroes from Geek Fam, it just feels like they can't really fight into it on the side of SMG at this point.
And they want to take those big fights now. Force just completed a pipe, so he's ready to go. He's ready to group up with the boys. Pretty much all the damage at this stage of the game from SMG is going to be magical. A side set from Genuel. Cox still going to try and catch up to him, but they will be lacking detection. At least they push them away from this tower, SMG, you're going to still actually consider about trying to defend it. Chrono is at the ready if mid one wants to get involved as well.
Yeah, they're ready to tornado them soon here. Invoker just trying to delay, but against the Sven, maybe they just let go of this tower here as Void for now not joining in towards mid at least.
This is one of those big things like we were mentioning with the Sven compared to the Faceless Void. You're able to get involved, importantly, in kills, but also taking some objectives, and with the remnants of that God Strength, Ornet's going to be able to go back to the triangle and take a stack and even get that top wave as well. So this is going to be a great timing out of his BKB as well. Of course, can always disassemble the Echo Saber.
Yeah, pretty deep movement here by the Clockwork and the Darkseer as well, just farming behind. Storm is around though, looking for a pickoff.
Should be able to find it onto Nam, and Radiant also have some members nearby to counteract this. Force, when does he want to try and cast out the pipe? Well, dude,
Oh my god!
combo, dude, what?
Is he fine? I think, yeah, okay.
It looks like he'll be able to live through it, but just a moment of patience for them. They see one slight opportunity where they group up too much, and that's when they jump on that opportunity. I mean, you lose the Void again. He wasn't able to utilize the Chrono there from mid one, so...
This is just devastating. I mean, you don't expect to see Faceless Void get killed that easily in this lineup, but the AA has been on point, man. Scam with these AA ultis and the combo timings on their team. I think he's completely caught off guard on mid one, because I would not have expected him to die there either.
And if this signs of what's potentially to come this game, Geek Fam look very clean with their communication, and that's very much going to help out with some of these late game fights where you need to execute as well.
Yeah, for sure. When you're playing Darkseer, you need to be on the same page with everyone, just, you know, for those vacuum setups, and we will see how they can utilize it later on. But so far, it's looking fantastic for them. SMG, you know, they're playing a more silent game. They do have the Manta style on Naga, so she's controlling bottom part of the map really hard while they are losing top a little bit.
Miss on the hook. Tornado's off the mark as well. Bladebell's going to make this kill a little bit more difficult here for SMG, and yeah, they're going to be forced to retreat as Onet looks to step in to push away no one. Meanwhile, over to the right side, though, Januel, he's going to be caught out too. So, I mean, Geek Fam doing a really good job to try and protect their vision. It will still get de-watered nonetheless, but we see they're trying to not give up an inch of this map.
The thing is, though, Geek Fam, while it's looking pretty good for them in terms of fighting, you can't just be head in the sand about Naga Siren forever. Look what she's doing. She's cutting mid creep wave, she's cutting bottom creep wave. This is only 16 minutes in, and she has established herself in a very important position, has an observer ward in the area as well, and she can keep doing this. She's going to keep cutting the mid and bottom creep wave, and that will really limit your movement on the map. Like, this is really a problem. They have to smoke out this Naga. Do a smoke gang, go in there and take her out, because right now she's getting away with murder, basically.
And that means everyone else is being able to catch up. Like mid one, he's got the Lincolns currently queued up at the moment, level 13. You're giving time to no one to also try and catch up. In fact, they're actually even looking for their own smoke play here. So it's going to be no one and Arthur in combination together. They want, I mean, dude, they'd love Ulna. They feel like this Sven is also potentially getting a little bit too far out of control.
Yeah, this is a good move. They might actually find him here with a connection up towards the Ancients. Does he know? Does he run away?
Ooh, it might be too deep.
Oh, he's still.
Have they got the... Oh, he just got the BKB assembled. Yeah, there's no way. If they check the imagery, they see the TPs. No one's going to be able to disjoint the Stormhammer, and they might just go for the easy kill into Arthur instead. I mean, one more leap. We'll try and make him work for it, but still... And it's going to be a lot of heroes that are forced out from Geek Fam to be able to protect Onet. So we do still see, like, it's not the worst death. Again, mid one, continuing to farm, and Masros has not left this bottom side.
The death isn't that punishing in itself, but it's the time investment that you made with your Storm to run over there as well. You can see the Storm is the bottom of the, you know, core net worth right now, because he's making a lot of moves and has only been part of a single kill so far in 18 minutes. That's not what I expected to see coming out from him on the Storm Spirit. One of no one's better heroes as well.
Do we feel like this is still a game where he might be able to have some impact even with a little bit lower amount of net worth than would he be hoping?
I mean, he definitely could. I want to see how they're going to combo with the Chrono right now, though, because looks like they want to take the fight top.
Long zip in from no one. Again, all these men are getting...
Oh, the arrow's off the mark.
Nothing left. They're going to be forced to reconsider about this engagement on SMG. It's up to mid one to and a pretty decent chrono. Wait, Narman is actually looking to go in. They can try and set off the Ice Blast. They will push him out at least of the damage range. They've got the pass-through nonetheless, so
The Dark's here.
face him down. And meanwhile, as well, over to the right side, Cox is also trying to catch up to Januel. I must say, like, I know you're saying it, and I heavily agree. Like, we've seen what no one's been able to do on this hero in the past, but it just looks like he hasn't played this hero much at the moment. Like, long zip-ins, off the mark multiple times. Where, like, his mana efficiency has been a little bit awkward so far, too.
Yeah, I think he's been a little bit off point, but at the same time, you got to mention that he is playing with a Naga offlane compared to the Darkseer offlane, which is joining all these fights, having impact with the Pipe and the Crimson Guard mana boots. You know, he's contributing a lot, whereas the Naga, she's playing extremely selfishly and just growing.
Oh, no. Wait.
They could force the BKB.
Huge opportunity, dude. 2,800 health again they've got to go through. No one, nice hip over the top with the Vortex as well. He's going to pop the BKB and buy him some time for the rest of the team to come over. They've got to make sure they don't group up because Geek Fam, the turnaround potential is going to be there. They'll try and target down mid one. He's got time to react, but meanwhile, Masteros will not. So once again, Ulnet will survive on a slither of health. Maybe not. No one spies him out with that cliff forward. So he's able to get a gigantic kill that will shut down the carry on Geek Fam.
Man, how does he not go to base there? He was like 10 HP. He actually sticks around to try and go top afterwards. I know it was a lot of heroes rotating towards mid, but the Storm Spirit manages to find him in the end there. Still though, it was a big takedown on the Naga, getting 900 gold for killing off the Naga Siren there, and the commitment of the Chrono and still not getting the Sven is a little bit worrisome that they used that much and he still survived.
Do we like the kind of item change from mid one? He did have that Lincoln's queued up for a while. He's now going to decide for a BKB instead.
I think it's probably a good idea to go BKB instead because you need it. There's too much magical damage to be ignored here, and the combination is just way too potent.
Maybe a little bit of poking on SMG. And they don't really have the chrono. Cox is also going to be able to wrap on the backline. A little bit awkward with the pulverized channeling.
Sven is here. He has ulti. There's no chrono.
Yeah, I mean, how this is going to be a successful fight on SMG? Not when Ulnet shows up. A quick and easy kill. Can they transition this into a tower? You've got tier 1 key. I
think Roche, I think Roche is the play here because you have the full duration Sven ulti. They got, you know, the Naga down, so there's not going to be a song play. This is a good call to go straight Roche, and doesn't look like SMG are in a great position to contest. Miranda can scout out with the arrow, but they need more if they're actually going to steal this.
Great positioning as well, regardless from Skemmen, along with Narman, just putting themselves as the potential first point of contact is going to make it very difficult for SMG to get any information, so...
Yeah,
Indeed will go down. They're going to give it to Cox as well with the Aegis.
I like that. The first Aegis going over towards the mid, and then the second one pass it over to Sven, and then he can crack high ground with that. It usually works out better because Cox is the playmaker right now. He didn't go for early BKB on the Primal Beast. He went for the Blade Mail and the Blink Dagger, so having Aegis will give him a little bit of sense of security. He can go in more aggressively, and Sven doesn't really need Aegis that badly. We see how tanky he is anyway, and mostly he's just going to be farming away.
Arming away, but also potentially looking to fight as well. Crit stick completed now for Ulnet, about to be level 17. Actually, Geek Fam that are looking to try and...
Smoke move coming in. They see the Naga across the high ground.
Januel's in a pretty good spot to pop it though.
He can't blink.
Force his location. Does Masteros have the song? He's getting a decent chunk away into his own territory. Mid one, alright. An aggressive jump in with the Chronosphere. This is the Aegis carry though, keep in mind that they're putting a lot of their attention over to at the moment. Crimson Pipe's gonna mitigate a decent chunk of the damage. The Vacuum only puts Masteros onto the high ground, but they have multiple illusions now to play with.
Illusion down.
Dead just yet, dude. Someone killed the Primal Beast. He's still alive. And now Ulnet's here for the cleanup as well. They need some stuns to enable him, and they won't want to dive past their tier 2 tower. Another very interesting fight where it's in the end just the AA that dies.
Just AA died, and you got Chrono on cooldown now, so I would even call it a win for Geek Fam. Sure, they didn't get anything immediately out of it, but using their ultis doesn't feel as bad as putting a Chrono on cooldown, because now the tier 2 push is coming. It's going to be a consequence to this fight. And of course, SMG, they don't want to be asleep at the wheel here, so they're going to smoke up themselves and go take over the enemy area as much as they can. Actually, Masaros is running in towards the enemies here on his Naga as well.
Dire's top tower is under
Just dealing with top.
No one currently home, and probably under a tier 2 tower looks a little bit more difficult a task for SMG. Do they even want to crack Cox? I mean,
the fact that he has Aegis, it feels like such a bad target, and people are nearby enough.
Throws. Oh, he's kind of baiting the team over towards where SMG are currently set up. Meanwhile, no one's also going to be able to catch up the A to start the fight over to the left side, so it's looking pretty decent at the moment for SMG. They haven't been able to confirm any of the kills until now. Can they get anything more off the back of that, though? Onet's going to try and step in with the God Strength up in a couple of seconds. Januel, though, hiding under the Ghost Wall, kill be fine. It looks like also you're able to TP out on no one. So again, a 2-for-1 that favors SMG. They'll get both supports, but still can't deal with the Aegis on Cox.
So scrappy fights in general here, but it looks like the core heroes are so difficult to kill on the side of Geek because of Sven having the BKB and his Warcry, the Darkseer going for the full tanky aura build, and then of course that Aegis that you mentioned. So at the end of the day, SMG, yeah, you get some kills, but it's mainly the supports kind of delaying the game, but maybe that's enough. They do have the Naga and the Faceless Void. Net worth is, virtually even here in this game.
Top lane, Onet. Is he vulnerable right now? It's just the two. Mid one's starting to move over, but Radiant also reacting with her own teleports. Onet still has a BKB to play with.
Finally does pop it there.
Second.
Yeah, he has to get out, and Darkseer needs to be a little bit careful as the Marana Moonlight Shadow was popped there. But yeah, Sven just standing his ground. He's fighting back so hard there, using his ulti, and not too worried as going in 1v2 even there.
Blacko, who's in the favorable position right now? I can't get a good read on this game. There's some crazy stuff going on in the fights and in the early game as well. I mean, it's 13-8, 2,000 net worth lead for Geek Fan, but it still feels like, it's incredibly even. So would you say there's a side that is a little bit more confident with this current position?
I'm going to say it like this. SMG are more and more pulling ahead in terms of win conditions here, because while Geek Fan are really strong, as we see them just look for more moves here. As they're really strong right now, they are going to fall behind. The Faceless Void, Storm, and Naga trio is going to scale better into a 50-minute game. It's just about holding on to the game for SMG. And currently, they're not taking any real building damage. Think about what they have really lost on the map. They've lost their mid-tier 1, top tier 1, but the tier 2s are both healthy, and bottom tier 1 is untouched.
What do we feel like if we look towards the later stages then from Geek Fam? What needs to go right for them to be able to compete with SMG? What do they have in their favor compared to what Dire kind of don't as we get to, like you said, maybe 50 minutes?
I think the big strength that they have is their combination execution, right? They have those combos of vacuum combo into Sven stun, and we've seen that they can be really on point with targeting a hero and bursting them quickly. So that's how they're going to have to try and win the fights. But the looming sort of threat of the late game Naga pushing and taking over your creep waves.
This is such a crafty move from Geek Fam. What a read from them. Masros is a little bit too late with this song, so he won't keep Januel alive. He will be able to TP out. Looks like Arfu should be okay as well. That was an awesome read where you have two people at the front of the T2 tower. Okay, never mind. Arfu will also go down as well from Cox, so secondary kill, but... And then you send three people through the portal and you have this pincer movement, and they knew exactly where they were. They drew on the map perfectly. They're just, unfortunately, they don't get rewarded with more valuable kills.
That's really the downside, right? They're 15-8, and they got a lot of support kills in general, and they did get some core kills as well, to be fair, but they can't really transition it into something big. They got the Roche earlier, but every time you win a fight, you basically want to go for towers immediately after. But look at the lanes. Top is pushing in now again. Mid is being pushed by Naga Illusions. It's just an endless chore to deal with trying to fix the balance here for the side of Geek Fam.
How crazy is it considering Skem to go for a Dagon or something instead of the Glimmer Cape? I mean, Glimmer versus Storm is really vital. We've seen no one's priority every single fight has been to deal with the AA, but do you feel like there needs to be a different mindset to deal with the Naga Illusions instead? No one.
He has the Lincolns, he's fine. He's gonna zip out, and even Moonlight Shadow. I think Dagon could be, actually an option to go towards. I understand him wanting some security though, because he has been targeted a bit. Bottom, the Chrono is available here if they want to try the Darkseer.
Yeah, screw it. Why not go for it? You've got a little bit of extra damage with Januel. A long-range arrow as well. They are reacting, though, from Geek Fam. Max TP's down to bottom. I think
Sven TP cancelled.
Cancelled top, yes. So they could maybe take a fight here from SMG. Meanwhile, no one is also getting hunted. This Lincoln's makes it really difficult to start on him. They'll pop it now, maybe hoping Cox can get in with the Pulverize, but this completely opens up that tier 2 tower down bottom, so SMG will actually be the first team that find a tier 2 compared to Geek Fam.
Yeah, and that's not what you want to have happen here, since, like I said, I think that they have the favorable heroes going later in the game, and no one, even sticking around top, doesn't want this creep wave to get shoved too far, so they keep pushing.
Gonna make a starter here onto the Primal Beast. He's got a heart, though.
He's tanky.
100 health. And Missed Arrow as well might be costly. Onit's going to be able to set up for the Ice Blast, and they'll just tear apart Masteros. And now Cox is onto the Faceless Void as well. Simultaneously on the couple of swipes, deals with Januel. They won't have stuns to be able to go through mid one's BKB, but Geek Fam able to get some really valuable kills. And we see the lines are drawn as well. Mid and top instantly looking to be shoved out.
Yeah, this is finally a moment where they can maybe push a little bit here. Sven doesn't have the blink though, so can't get on top of the Mirana, and she just clears off the creep wave and doesn't look like they want to commit. I think they could have cracked the tier 2 tower right now if they really went for it. Chrono is on cooldown, but maybe they're respecting the Storm a little bit too much, the potential they would zip in and set up some from a combo with Arrow.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower.
And Geek, they won a big fight there, and you can see this Sven. He is the strongest player on the field, like by far.
Yep.
When he comes in, everybody else has to respect him, and that's all good, but they need some more objectives here.
Maybe off the back of the Blink Dagger on Force, we could see that wombo combo kind of like we saw earlier on. There was some really crafty fights for them to be able to give them a decent lead to get these early objectives, but we'll see what he's going to be able to do with the Blink Dagger now in these upcoming fights.
Yeah, I'm kind of lacking the blink on Sven to really play that super high tempo as well, and even the potential for him to go for something like a Bloodthorn in this game could be big to, you know, have a way to deal with the Storm, his Lincoln Sphere keeping him so safe now. Mid one. He's got Nullifier, so he's pretty damn strong right now.
He's going to give them a lot of information. Luckily, he didn't run into the Primal Beast, but both sides are looking to get set up for Roche. Of course, it is going to be down bottom, and Geek Fam have already got firm control of this area. So what's the call from SMG? I mean, do you just take tier 2 towers instead? Do you even consider about fighting? Because you will scan it out now, but I think it's going to take too long for them to get there.
Oh, they might be in time, but nah, it's too fast. It's going down so quickly to the Sven Mask of Madness here. So they moved over to try and contest it, but as it already falls, I wonder if they're trying to catch stragglers. Top is pushing in, mid is pushing in, people are TPing out now.
They need this cliff ward. No one's going to act as a...
Oh, Primal Beast is out, they gotta be careful now.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, Nalman?
What?
Tornado might actually get him. All right, they got him. Just at least one person. It's also just a couple of illusions nonetheless. Dude, this is so much time wasted from SMG. They moved top as a 5-man, as a 4-man, and then they smoked all the way bottom to try and contest that, and they only got the Clockwork kill.
Yeah, I think if they had the Moonlight Shadow still, maybe the Faceless Void could have snuck down there to try and find a setup with the Chrono, but since that timed out, he backed up and just, you know, dealt with the creeps instead nearby the tier 1 tower. So, yeah, they do have the Aegis and Cheese in hand again. These are great tools for them to look for some fights. The Invoker could be in trouble here if he comes out a little bit too far.
Looks like they're even just going to jump on top of him. Doesn't matter how far he comes out with Cox and Onits hand in hand. They're going to be able to secure a couple of easy kills. They'll make sure they group up as well. Force and Scam will instantly move over just in case they're required.
They do have a creep wave mid, so Sven can go towards this tier 2 tower. The Forge Spirit not going to be able to pull the creep wave away. So this finally looks like they can claim a tier 2 tower. The glyph does come out to delay it, but I don't think Sven is stopping here.
I mean, you see what the Naga is trying to do in regards to cutting. They're also going to spy out the Naga. No one sees the TP is going to have to react. Masteros might need to song. It's going to do so in the nick of time.
Oh, the BKB Sven.
Before it though, not going to be able to catch up to him. Did they?
I think they passed the Lincolns with Storm to block the Harpoon. So he tried to Harpoon and then Stormhammer, but the Lincolns blocked the Harpoon for Sven. I don't know. It looks like he would have had range to just throw the stun immediately, though, there as well. But they get out safely, so good play by SMG, you know, actually holding on to tier 2 tower mid again.
I think they know this ward's here. I mean, SMG trying to spring a trap. And mid one, he's going to jump with that opportunity. Gets 2 heroes. It is the Aegis carrier. Let's see if they're going to be able to kill him off with the first dive. He's fallen incredibly low on Owen and needs to react in time. Geek Fam, there's the combo out. They're going to be able to get some wall illusions now to play with. They'll jump into the river as well as Narman controls Mastros into place. There's no song to get him out to safety. The Ice
Naga's in trouble.
In as well, as it looks like they're just going to feed Naga away. They recognize there's no way they can potentially get her out of danger, as Cox is already looking for more as well.
He's chasing.
Up to Januel, as Geek Fam will find multiple kills as a response. A nice tornado.
Oh, the harpoon from the high ground.
Nice harpoon from Owen. It even drags him up as well. See you later, nerds. As Geek Fam had a pretty successful team fight in the end. They do lose the Aegis, and you do have to buy back on the Ancient Apparition. We even see a buyback come out from Arfu as well, though, in that engagement.
If they didn't have the Aegis, that would have been a great fight for SMG, but matter of fact is that there is Aegis on Sven, so I was a little bit surprised to see Void going in with that Chronosphere there, trying to commit. He picked off the AA nicely, but Sven just comes back, and he's way too strong for him to fight into. I don't even think that he needed to use BKB there in that fight at all. He still has it, so... A little bit tough team fights for SMG, despite having these great late game heroes. They're just not as strong in 5v5 engagements.
And now off the back of that successful skirmish, Geek Fam get a tier 2 tower. They've been pinging high ground ward set up. I mean, they're feeling super strong. Scepter just completed from Cox.
There's no chrono. Yeah, this is just punishing cooldowns, right? When you draft these big cooldowns, you're gonna see the enemy team just look to make stuff happen, and that's why Sven, he's going.
How can they stall this out, though? No one's gonna try and force around his spells.
Oh, he got arrowed.
It's in Meteor as well. It's a lot of damage onto the Sven. We do see Forces able to protect him, but just importantly, they get them away from the tier 3 tower. And Chrono's up in 10 seconds if they want to continue the chase. There's no Moonlight Shadow to follow them out, though.
Yeah, they're chasing out, but, you know, I think that they can get out of this area in time. Norman kind of hanging around. Looks like they might want to stick around and fight even, as Sven doesn't want to back out.
You got to make a call, though, because there's a lot of farm they're losing across the map. Mid and bottom is really getting shoved in. Their full jungle is still untouched as well, so...
Yeah, SMG are actually going to be the ones to start going towards the bottom area instead. Just leaving illusions to push out top. Going to be completely fine with that. And they're going towards that mid tower. And right now, Geek, they have to pull back. Like, there's catapults on your bottom towers.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Running across. Yeah, they're coming back to defend, and they still do have, you know, the potential to take fights here with all their tools ready, smoke used, wrapping around.
Yeah, they're a little bit split. I mean, Arfu can be that first point of contact and easily get out with the leap. But eyes need to be towards mid one, and what he's going to be able to do with the Chrono. Looks like it's a long wraparound call here from Geek Fam. They will reveal their location onto Mastros. Is everyone else nearby to protect it? BKB is going to be activated, but it does nothing. Not against Owen. It's big physical damage. And they're still sticking around on SMG. They're indecisive.
They really are. They want to fight this?
Over the top. They'll run into the Invoker first. Still very messy. What's the call? Someone needs to decide. Mid one's going to run into Cox, but a successful fight is going to be relying on the multi-man Chrono, and mid one, he's not going to fight it just yet. With a vacuum, drags him back. Mid one forced to use the BKB. There's the Chrono. They're going to be able to deal with this Sven as well. With all the damage for the Invoker. A quick and easy kill onto Own it, but if they still got stuff left in the tank to deal with the rest of Geek Fam, as they even don't want to fight. Cox and Co are out of this area.
Man, that looked so scrappy at first there. They do have high ground vision here, so they're sticking around Storm, looking for a zip. Way too low mana, though, I think, to keep going. Sven being dead, they want to force the buyback.
But you do have Mastros back alive. It's going to be a long trip to the rest of the team.
Oh, there's a region bottom. If Storm goes back, he could get full mana again for this fight. They're going to see it with Naga. Going to call it out. That was surprising to me, though. The way that fight went down looked like it was going to be good for Geek, but they did a good job hiding, I guess, on the side of SMG, just using the trees to their advantage, hiding all their core heroes, and finally getting a vision onto the Sven, and then targeting him down with both the Storm and the Faceless Void.
And we are seeing, though, like that past fight with the Chrono was a prime example that they actually have the damage to kill the Sven now, especially with almost maxed out Exor. So this is something that you're going to need to see Geek Fam do a little bit differently on if there's some defensive items they need to protect him in Chrono, or maybe jump the Invoker first instead.
Oh, Storm.
Up the Lincolns, able to get the zip away. Sven's still down for 10 seconds. It's like SMG not wanting to try and force the issue.
Yeah, they don't have the Chrono just yet. Sven is about to respawn as well, so gonna see SMG just back up here and play it a little bit safe. Pings coming out towards the Wisdom Rune and the Tormentor as well, as Geek have been pretty much shut into their base now. The game's still very much even in terms of net worth, but I don't know, man. It feels like Geek are just struggling due to not being able to push the lanes harder, even when they won those early fights. And now the comfortable late game of Naga is just happening. She's closing in on that Butterfly as well, and that will be a big problem for Sven, because he does not have an MKB yet.
Doesn't look like he's got one even queued up as well. It's going to be the Swift Blink into Refresher for Olnert.
Yeah, I don't think he can go for... that's the problem. He's against two different cores, right? And he wants to try and be ready to fight everything.
Gonna make it difficult in regards to his itemization. Cox, that's an aggressive jump. But I guess he's got 4,300 health they have to go through. They're still not even all grouped up at the moment as well from SMG.
Even just that EMP, though, it kind of drains so much of his mana. He has to backpack the Blade Mail and get some bottle uses here. They are drawing their intention, though, on the side of Geek. Want to go around here.
Astros is not with the team. He wants to farm that remaining gold for the Butterfly, but if a fight breaks out now, it's going to be a 4v5.
Oh, SMG. They are
up inside the lane. It's going to pop. It's all eyes on Force. What can the Darkseid look to do here with the vacuum? He's got that Hex looking to reveal as well, as Mastros is now joined with the team. In one with a jump over the top of the Clockwork. A little bit messy of a start. If they can break some mana out of the Primal Beast, that's going to feel quite nice for this eventual fight. As no one even senses a sign of weakness. Mastros running forward, either side just poking them down, not wanting to commit too heavily, trying to see the chinks in the armor.
Just slowly, the Greaves coming in, giving new mana to the Primal, so he's fine again. Got enough at least to use his spells once.
Clockwork, Cox, alright! What a stun! Cox followed up with a double storm hammer, but mid one's gonna be able to... It won't prevent the Ice Blast, as that might be enough to be able to secure the two kills, and now Owner can chase down mid one. And Time will get some separation, but it's not gonna matter. Geek Fam, they've got the opportunity to be able to get multiple kills off the back of the start from the Primal Beast, as they're going to be able to cleave down mid one's Faceless Void. A triple kill for Olnert, and what a short charge from Cox. We were expecting it to be the Darkseid to start, but you've got the Primal Beast to do it instead, and now they can get Roche as well.
That was so perfect. They use him as bait instead there. They tried to go in and maybe burst the Darkseid, but the Sven coming in with a beautiful stun and the follow-up by the AA. Even though the Chrono came in to try and offset it, it wasn't enough, and that also led to the Faceless Void getting hit by the AA ulti along with him. So it was a 3-man AA ulti that just secured the team fight really, really well there. We can see a replay here as they're taking Roche in the game. This is the initiation, right? They see the Darkseid. They think, okay, maybe we can combo him. They use everything, but then they just get punished for it.
Oh, what a timing. Like, no hesitation for Cox. Straight away jumps in. Olnert follows up as well. And we just see the lack of damage there. And that fight in particular was really surprising. We've seen previously they've been able to kill the Sven 4-0 in Chrono, but not when you had some of the other members inside the bubble. And man, that was the team fight, like you were mentioning, Waga. You said, Geek Fam, we get to this stage, like their 5v5 still looks very scary.
Oh yeah, and they have more tools at their disposal now. The Darkseid got the Aghanims from the Roche as well, so he's got that Blink, Hex, Aghanims combination. That's a long amount of the disable, so he can pretty much just burst stuff now with this. Does give them one more way to catch the Storm as well. Could always blink on him with Darkseid and land a little punch on him. Doesn't matter if you have Linkens against that.
Still no Chrono for 18 seconds. No one's going to reel the Hex. Arrow's going to connect as well. They're going to have to go through the first life without committing too many big abilities. They won't be able to do so as... Oh, no. Oh, that's beautiful. They weren't able to get two anymore off the back of it. The quick fingers out of Mastros gives them some time. And importantly, Chrono's back up and mid-one's ready to go.
You got all 5?
Pips on 5. That's even better from the Faceless Void. As now no one's going to get back into the middle with the Hex as well. They'll turn to try and kill the Sven, but it's tanky. It's going to take them too long to be able to go through. And meanwhile, Cox, he got the pulverize, but the damage is lacking. Mid-one, he actually time walks back into the middle. SMG sensing blood in the water. This is their opportunity to come out on top, but Onit's ready to go.
The Storm is done.
With the BKB, a second round of the God Strength. This will kill no one. That's no buyback. And now mid-one as well get cleaved apart.
Oh my god, they get Mirana as well.
And Geek Fam, they can probably just end the game right here and right now. Mastros, the sole survivor, is going to try and drag them away. They'll get the kill. He doesn't have a buyback. One fight is all Geek Fam needed to knock SMG out of this game 1.
Yeah, this is just devastating. I mean, they do have buyback on the Faceless Void, but for what? You don't have Chrono anymore, and the death timers is simply too long here. The entire team ready and going. Beautiful turnaround there. You thought that they would win the fight heavily with the Chronosphere coming in, landing on that many heroes, but the damage is just too low. I think a lot of it comes down to the Warcry blocking so much from the Sven, having the Aghanim's Shard as well, so even the Nullifier is not able to remove the extra armor that Sven provides. Like, that's bonus 25, and then the passive 6 as well. His team just doesn't take physical damage.
What's going on mid lane? I mean, mid-one's got to be really cautious. Everyone else is coming over.
There's the Hex as well.
He bought back, dude. How do you get out of this mid-one?
Oh no.
Out of this? As Nauman somehow pierces him with a hook shot inside the tree line. That is a dieback on mid-one's Faceless Void. 2 minutes where it's going to be a 4v5.
Well, there was the time where he was the only one alive and his team was all dead. Now it's the other way around. His team has to hold against 5 heroes. They even have the cheese over on the Primal still as well. I don't know how you fight into this without your Faceless Void. You just can't be lacking way too much damage. The push is surely coming in here. They have catapults as well. Sven looking to jump.
Man, good luck, SMG. It's going to have to be a crafted defense for you to be able to hold this out for the next 80 seconds.
Oh, they got to pull.
The Storm Spirit as well. They've already started with a high ground ward. Somehow finds an opportunity to zip all the way back to base. SMG. I really think that was the Invoker, the big one there, being able to break the combo.
Yeah, they broke the combo and the A ulti did not connect on the Storm yet, importantly, so he could get back. Though Sven has ulti ready, refresher ready as well now. I mean, this is the double BKB, double ulti Sven.
And he's not gonna wait for them. Jump out of the tier 4. Januel is down for 80 without a buyback as well. And now Lincoln's gonna be popped. Instant quick on the fingers from Mastros though. We'll give them time.
30 seconds though, it's so long. You gotta hold on somehow here.
Mastros with the heart's got time, but meanwhile it just beats no one. I was going to buy back, but like you said, they just kind of have to force Geek Fam to try and kill the heroes instead of going for the buildings. 20 seconds. Another round of the God Strength's going to be activated here from Ona with the refresher.
Buyback from Storm.
Got the Chrono as well. They're even going to have damage once he's back alive. They'll lose Masaros. He's going to buy back at least to be able to rejoin. They are just feeding lives away to buy some time.
The Faceless Void is up now, but is he strong enough to deal with all of this? I don't know if he can burst these core heroes. They're so damn tanky. Tipping behind. Looking for it. He has a smoke. He's smoked up, so you don't see him.
And they're going to go for Ona. All or nothing. Everything onto the Faceless Void.
Oh no, he got Storm as well.
Is he going to have the damage or to be able to secure the kill? They will, but it's an instant buyback. Ona should be able to rejoin the team, and that will be all she wrote. I mean, mid-one tried to do whatever he could. Multiple Chronospheres onto a couple of the members out of Geek Fam in these back-to-back fights, but it just was not enough as Geek Fam will take game 1.